Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Well, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxy, on the show tonight is my big mucker Southside and young Rob. How we doing, boys?
Evening Ox, evening Southside. I'm doing alright, mate. Hope you're good yourself.
Yes,
mate. Aye, good Ox. Good to be on the right with Rob and your good self.
I'm not saying there's a generation gap, but two's have got an abacus and one's got a calculator, and I think that shows it also outside.
Aye, definitely. There's a wee bit of age gap, but it's good to get the young on.
Yes. Right, okay, a big day for the club today, always when they announce. Well, let's put it in perspective. It wasn't always a big day for the club. People never really sat up and took notice in the past, if we're honest, Southside. I think they show a bit more interest when financial results come out than they did maybe 20 years ago. Would that be fair?
Aye. Obviously, everything's cost, everything goes up, doesn't it? And obviously, you've got to have trying to season ticket sales and all that, and normally you try and get filled and all that, and normally you're just trying to keep everything, get as much income in as possible, and at some point things will get better as you progress along. So aye, it's seen there's been a wee release of the figures today, and there's some tasty stuff in there.
Aye. Rob, what we're going to do is we're going to hear from one of our directors, and we'll take it from there. Are you with us, Rob?
Yeah, mate, sounds good.
We'll hear from one of the directors, and then we'll get your take on it. You can get a calculator out, me and Southside will get the abacus out. We can read into what we want, and obviously people are feel free to call. And then we'll move on to the football. That depends on the callers, and then we'll get a big game tomorrow night. But this is important for us to have a look at the financial returns for 23-24. So it's up to this June the 30th, yeah? All right, so let's not get carried away, but let's read in and see what we come up with. Right, so let's hear the Director of Finance. I don't think it is.
James, what are the headlines of this year's accounts?
Thanks, Nick. So this year, I'm pleased to announce that we have delivered record revenue of over £88 million into the football club. And taken together with one-off recurring items, we have actually delivered over 93 million of revenue, and together with a gain in sale of the Albion have delivered 94. That's a really stunning performance from a commercial aspect for the football club over the last 12 months, and again is testament to Karim Varane and the rest of the commercial team in delivering that success. As we move through the rest of the P&L, our costs have gone up marginally. They've gone up 1% versus a number of other clubs have noted double-digit growth as a result of the inflationary environment that we're in. And that has led to a pre-player trading loss of £2 million. Now that's down from £10.5 million last year, which was a stated aim of the chairman, the ex-chairman at that time, John Bennett, and so we've delivered a material improvement in the operating performance of the football club. As we move further down towards the bottom line, we continue to need to improve the player trading model, and together with one-offs including settlement of litigation and associated finance costs through loans and interest associated, we have a bottom line loss of 17 million, and that's something that I'll touch on later on.
You mentioned commercial and also the player trading model. How important are they not only for the now but for the future as a football club?
Very is the short answer to that. I think for us as a football club, I've mentioned before that we are in the market that we're in the structural market that we're in, we're really over reliant and over leveraged towards success in Europe. So again, the recent result against FCSB was extremely promising, and again, European performance for us is super important to be able to continue to invest in the squad, to continue to invest in the campus, and to continue to invest in in the football club in various different aspects. In terms of the commercial revenues, again, we've had a number of strong commercial renewals and indeed new partners into the ecosystem. So we've just recently announced earlier coming back into the ecosystem. We've recently renewed our furniture shirt deal for an improved terms. And we're looking across the partnership portfolio across a number of different verticals in the football club to look to maximise the opportunity for us to invest in the first team. Linking that into the player trading model, ultimately it is the executives, Karim's world, my world. It's our absolute focus to deliver an efficient operating model that can really deliver the most amount of capital to Niels, to the football department, in order to maximise the opportunity to get the best possible team on the park for our supporters. I've said that before and I'll say it again. That's why we're here. We're here to try and maximise the performance of the football team. So linking that into the player trading model, clearly it is imperative for us to maximise the investment in the capital that we can provide Niels and the rest of the football department in order to get the best possible team in the park. Now, we now need to look at how are we going to develop players, how are we going to enhance their value, how are we going to make them successful, not only in the here and now, but also over the next 2 to 3 years, so that we can start creating a virtuous circle of making sure that we develop players, selling them at a higher value, and ultimately leading to a gain through the accounts, which you'll see through the accounts, which can then actually deliver us more investment and continue that virtuous circle, as I mentioned. So the commercial revenues that we generate, the long-term commercial revenues that we generate, together with the cost culture that we want to have in this football club of prioritisation of our spend to make sure that we're getting the best possible outcome in every single aspect of our performance. That then allows us to invest more in the first team, more in the football department as a whole, and ultimately gives us more opportunity to drive a successful player trading model.
How do you then ensure, along with the board, that the club remains on a secure financial footing for the years to come?
That's a good question, and again, I think the thing to highlight here is there was a £17 million bottom line post-tax loss this year, and that number, whilst again is something that we should acknowledge and observe, is something that we recognise and understand how we're going to move forward and fix. And again, a lot of that loss is coming down to the impact of the player trading model in this year, taking impairments on players from the recent past that we've moved on in the summer. Again, one of the big talking points over the summer has been the normalisation of the first team wage bill from the club's perspective. And again, that's allowed us to look at how are we going to move forward in a sustainable manner, in a manner that allows us to get to a break-even point pre-player trading, which again is a stated objective. It will be challenging this year, given the nature of the Copeland, Works, Hampden and indeed the Dynamo Kiev result. That will be challenging, but it's something we're focused on. It's something we're looking to achieve. So for us as a football club, we have to get to a point where we have an operating model that is sustainable, that is successful. We then have the football side of the business that generates, on the player side, generates us gains over a 5-year cycle. If we deliver that, we can then start bolstering our balance sheet. We can then start accelerating investment. We can look at various different ways of further enhancing the opportunities and the capital available to the first team. Just on that point, in terms of some of the works post year end and some of the impacts post year end, and again, the Copeland works are obviously were a big talking point over the summer. And again, on behalf of myself and the rest of the exec and the rest of the board, I would like to place on the record my thanks to our supporters for their patience, for their perseverance as we got through this, and also to the SFA, SPFL and UEFA for their support throughout a fairly kind of challenging time. Again, I think those that have been to Ibrox since will acknowledge the quality of the facilities that have been installed, and it's a massive addition to our accessibility facilities here at Ibrox. So we're very proud that the work's now been done and been completed, and once again, I'd like to place on record my thanks. Again, there'll be a marginal cost impact in regards to our move to Hampden, but again, I think for us, the ability to work together with the rest of the Scottish game is it is certainly something we've taken a positive out of throughout this summer.
Right, thanks for that, Fox. Yeah, be back with us, gents.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen, there's going to be a headline figure in there, and I'm sure we'll come to that. But the business, the actual business that underpins the football side, there's been a marked improvement, and we've cut the losses from 10.5 million down to 2 million, which is a step in the right direction. But the headline figure will be drafted on the player trading model, and I think we all know that it wasn't successful last summer with guys we brought in the door, and I think you mentioned a few of them early on. Southside, we've no value for cash, and we've had for Scottish football heavy outlay. Dessers has been a guy who started regular for him. I don't want over the Dessers debate, but whatever. Civientes, Danilo, who's been unlucky with injury, and who else have I missed out for last Lammers, yeah, and you start getting it, you can get to that 17 million quite easily.
And wages.
And wages, mate, but it's pretty frightening. So you're seeing there how important, Robert, recruitment is, it?
Yeah, indeed, mate. I think that's the kind of basis that as supporters we'll look at in the terms of the player trading model. If we're bringing in somebody for what we would probably say is a hefty fee in terms of Scottish football, we want to be developing the players and having the profit coming in. It just goes to show, though, how it can affect the budgets and the figures if it doesn't go well, and how easy, as you said, that 17 million can be noticed in figures released.
Aye, that's the figure that's going to grab all the headlines. All the improvements that's been done Southside, increasing the turnover and increasing the commercial stuff, still with some things that have been done since then, i.e. the new shirt deal, plus we know that at some point we'll be doing the new kit deal, which is big revenue for the club going forward because we're in a better place than we were 5 years ago. But the 17.2 million, I think it's 0.2 million, is going to be the headline grabber.
Aye, it will be, and it's what grabs everybody's attention. Do you know what I mean? The fact that we put a record total income of 94.2, what was it last year? I think when I was seeing it, was it about 88, 89, 88, 87 turnover? I think last year, and I think we've increased it a bit, and the commercial revenue is up as well. But at the end of the day, everybody looks to see, have you made money or have you lost money? And it's the player trading model that's affecting it. And it's players that we've still got that we've paid decent money and we've no had a return that we'll need to get off the books. And because it was done the 30th of June, we'll not see the benefit probably next season when we've done the cost cutting and that. It'll be a better set of figures probably, although you'll have other things added into it as well.
Yes and no, mate. Yes and no. The start of the season's not been spectacular for revenue.
No, well, that's true. Aye, because we've been at Hampden as well, which we've got to factor in. But listen, hopefully going forward, if we can keep filling Ibrox, if we stay in Europe long enough, we get the right results, it will help generate more income for the club. That's what we look to do. And if the supporters buy the tickets and go to the games and fill the hospitality as well, then it's all profit, it's all money into the club, which helps the club in the long run.
It's important that people turn up and support the club, mate, but people have got their own views, their own things. And I just want to grab, and I'm not making light of the situation because we'd like the accounts to be better and sold some of the players for a big profit, and then we'd be checking that a different set of accounts. But the average attendance in the league matches is 10 of a difference. So I want you to track down the 10 people Southside and find out why they've not turned up.
Aye, yeah. If it was only that easy.
Yeah, I looked at it just at 49,106 this year, and it was 49,116 the year before. So, there's a lot of things that's improved. The wage bill percentage of our turnover has fallen by 5%, Rob. And obviously, there's the way they've intimated the account, there's a potential for another 6 million drop in the wage bill. So even if we kept or turnover at the same level, which I don't know if will happen. A lot of that depends in Europe, as we know, will be improving, because the wage bill's coming down, basically.
It's a small step, Ox, in the right direction. We're not going to see figures change dramatically in the space of a year or a year and a half. As you said, it's a step in the right direction. And the wage bill coming down this year, as Southside said, you'll see that more next season. And again, we'd be in a better financial position, hopefully, with all the kind of aspects. But it just shows you again the importance of European football, commercial deals. I know they're not for everybody when we have a new sponsor or a new logo somewhere around the stadium, but it goes to show you that a wee small bit of rating can be a long way in making the club a better financial stability. So hopefully it just improves going forward, mate, and we can sustain it on a long-term basis, as James Taylor said there.
60% increase in the shirt sponsors. But that will not show up to next year's accounts, mate. That was just done a few weeks ago. But listen, I don't think it's a secret that my transfer activities haven't been great Southsider, and we're paying big money for guys that have either not been on the park or some of them have been flops. So I'll be honest about it. It's there in front of our eyes sometimes, isn't it?
Aye, recruitment for manager, Beale as well. We've had players that had to leave after, like for Gio and that. We've had players stayed too long, but although we said they stayed too long, not many clubs actually came in for them. That's the thing. Everybody said, we should have sold this one, that one, and that one. Heard them talking about it a few nights ago on the show. Nobody really came in for anybody. Morelos had a bid. I don't see many people that was coming in for Kent. I think eventually, maybe the first time round before he signed his contract, Kamara had maybe Lille or someone, I think, had been looking at him, or a French team. But apart from that, nobody was coming in for our players. But we've not used it wisely, and some haven't been good return for money. And we've still got a lot of players there at the moment that are not getting as a return for their money, and they have to be moved out the door as well. And that's going to be part of the rebuild. It was just unfortunate. I think if Phil could have got a few more out the door, they would have went. So as it is, we're stuck with some of them, but they will go in time to free the wage building.
It's a vicious circle, mate. When you sign a player, you think you've got somebody that fits the bill. They're hardly on the pitch for various reasons, form or injuries. They're a depleting asset because they're getting older, and then they're not going to move because they're on decent money, and then nobody's coming in because they're not on the park, Rob.
Yeah, right, mate. And I think Clement's been quite open about that, about paying the right fee for players, but also giving them the wages and expecting something back from the player you bring in. He obviously wants to get a young squad. We can see that. And his idea is that these young players can develop here, be successful at our club, and then move on to different leagues and different clubs, and we basically profit from them. And again, that'll be a positive in a way, that they work for us in the short term, but they're also beneficial to us in the long term. But as you said, it's all about what they do on that pitch.
Sorry, doing a bridge, man.
I was going to say that, you're doing a bridge.
That's become a better asset. Sorry, Southside, mate. I was doing a bridge. That's become a bigger asset if you're doing it on the pitch, isn't it?
100%. And it's like anything, you can sell players when you're successful, when they're doing well, and they're doing well in the European aspect, as we've spoken about, because that's part of where you get a bit of income. Would have had it better if we had won the league the year before and the players hadn't flung it away in the 3 games, and that would have made not so much there, but it would have made a bigger aspect going forward for the club. So European football is important in being successful. And normally, if you're going to get sold, you're normally getting sold by how well you're playing in Europe, not always how well you do domestically in Scotland. But if you're a Rangers player, you're on the telly most weeks, you get to showcase your skills, and most people get to watch you. But the longer you can stay in Europe and have good performances and good team results in Europe, it helps put the attention on the club, and then people start to look at certain players, and hopefully in time we'll get decent money in for players as we go along. That's what it's about. We've had to start with this core of players, that were brought in the now and that we're going to bring in. Hopefully it'll be some more experience. But these players that we've got the now, Jeffrey, Diamonde, Cortez when he's back fit, Connor Barron, they're players that right now the Rangers will be looking to flip in time, and hopefully we'll get a lot more than what we paid for them.
Aye, getting value for money is very difficult. I get it, mate. I understand it. Recruitment, it's a gamble. Every player's a gamble. You know, you take Danilo. We'll take Danilo, for instance. Hefty transfer fee, decent wages to go with that, Rob. Could you see he's been a flop? Well, aye, he has for the amount of time he's been on the pitch. Could you have foreseen that? He gets his jaw smashed and then he gets assaulted and then he's out for a long time. No, you can't. And that's the uniqueness of the business, isn't it? And there's millions of pounds involved.
As you can say that for a lot of players, there's been a bit of unluckiness about it. Other players just haven't lived up to the expectations and the demand that they were brought in for. And that's when we do see that we're having to cut our loss and get them out the door to reduce the wage bill, but take the hit on the transfer fees. It comes down to the recruitment, as we've spoke about. And that's came from, as Southside said earlier on, the Michael Beale signings. A lot of them will be down to that. And I think that's where we need the stability from the boardroom level down, first of all. If they're stable enough, we've got a director of football, we've got a chairman, we've got a CEO in place. It's that roundabout where if it's good at top, it should filter its way down to the bottom, to the team on the pitch. But again, performances will give you a value. But we know that clubs out there will look at the Scottish League and not value the league itself, even if the player, if they'd done the exact same in England, it would be an extra 3-4 million on top of the price tag. So we need to be sensible in terms of bringing players in, seeing the true potential, but also not just flinging cash at the player to get them in if it does go the wrong way.
I think the trouble is if you compare with the EPL, mate, a running a mill player can go for 30-40 million, mental as it sounds sometimes, Southside. It's no apples for apples, is it?
No, not at all. But sometimes you get academy players down in England going for silly money and all that when they've hardly even played a first team game for their club, or they've played relatively few games, and then somebody maybe come in and buy them because their contracts come to an end and they leave, as you've seen with Cole Palmer and things like that. Different level of player, obviously, but you've seen the money he went for. No, listen, our academy as well has to be trying to make money as well. Like we've got, as we looked at the now, we've got a whole core group of boys there that are all sitting there, and they're not exactly knocking the first team door down according to Clement. They're no better than what we've got, as he stated. Some are still quite young, but the ones that are at that age, as we know now, we maybe need to start trying to get rid of them, and you've got to start bringing money through. If we're bringing boys through at the academy and they're not going to make it us, then we've got to try and sell them on for at least decent money. I'm not talking about 2 and 3 million. I'm just talking about anything for $500,000 to $1 million if possible. We've got to look to get players out the door and get them away then, and that'll generate money back into the club, because as it is, we get them away for nominal fees. Apart from obviously Patterson, who had first team experience, but for instance, if Leon King's got to go, we need to get rid of him for talking's sake, because the boy's not progressing at all at the moment. His career's going stale. Then we need to make sure that we're going to get some type of decent money for him, and not just give him away for very little. And it'll be the same with a Lowry or whatever else you want to pick out the young boys that aren't making it. Adam Devine. So we've got to find, Motherwell had him on loan, we've had him back. Maybe another Premier team might come from. So we need to try and sell these boys on and get money in back into the club box, and just make sure that that's what happens on a yearly basis or 2 yearly basis when players aren't making it, that we're getting money back in for the boys that we're trying to produce. If they're not good for us, they'll be good for somebody else.
Aye, it doesn't mean they can't come back. People can kick on and come back, you know. You know, but I mean, that's a whole different debate, how often these boys are playing football. If you look at Leon King, it's an absolute disgrace, but that's another story, Southside, and a whole different debate, isn't it?
Aye, it is, because if you look at it, and what your base people are saying, Leon King's a centre half because that's where he's only ever been played and all that. But the boy get exposed to Champions League football, exposed at the highest level against A teams, and then he's not had a look in since. There's not even been close to it. And as much as he's a good blue nose and he probably wants to be there, if the boy's not going to break through, he has to go. He has to go and play first team football somewhere else. And who knows, he might come back in a few years' time. You never know. But at the time, the boy has to go. And when he goes, we need to get decent money for him. He's a Scotland under-21 player. He's off so many games at first team level. He's played European games. And so when we sell him, even if we sold him for $750,000, $500,000 to $750,000, then would that not be a fair price for Leon King?
Sure, maybe one night we'll get Albert on and we can maybe have that whole debate about that, and that could be really interesting, maybe at an international break or something, because that's a different argument, mate, because we've still teach some of these boys and their development's not been right, and I don't think it's just down to the club. I think it's a whole set-up Scottish football. Just my views, Rob, just my views.
I think there's a massive gap, mate. Southside, obviously, he sees a lot of the young players in the B team. For me, personally, I think there's a massive gap between the academy players and the first team players and the ability, as well as the progression that's made. Southside's right. If we can get some money in for these players, even if it's small increments, if you get 5 out at 500,000 each, it's 2.5 million that you might not have got from a first team player. So he's right in the sense of if they're not going to make it, we need to cash in. But I think it comes down to the gulf between the B team level and actually the first team. And I know some of us as supporters will say, give them a chance in games. If they're not looking good enough at B team level, then are they really justified in getting a first team start because it's not been going well? Who knows? I like the saying, if you're young enough, you're good enough. If you're not good enough, then you shouldn't be in the B team either. It's stopping their careers as well. And Southside's right. If they want to be playing football, they need to believe in the club, unfortunately, even if they are supporters themselves.
I mean, we can't judge this team. Well, we might after tomorrow night, but that's a whole different debate again, Southside. But they're a younger team with potential, more value in it. No offence to Ryan Jack and John Lundstrom and guys arguably served as well. People have their views on them. Connor Golston, who turned up every week, but this time last year they were on their balance sheet with very little chance of making no chance of making money on them. And then people will wonder, that's maybe some of the criticism will get thrown on the proper side. Of, never mind what people see him, his performances. They'll say, well, what was the point? Because I think he's about 31, so there's a lot of value there. Well, but if you think it's important to jigsaw your squad together, and he's a main piece, allegedly, you'll sign him, yeah?
Listen, we needed experience in the team as well. And it might have been a bit of a late choice or whatever, but he came in with the experience. And Niels Compton would have known roughly what the wages are in Holland and that, and what they were paying. So he's certainly going to be on a lot less than what Connor Golson was on. So, like you said, we've had to reduce the wage bill. He went for the experience there. We've got experience in Cherny. We've got the experience in Bajami coming in. And there, Tom Lawrence has got experience as well. And we've obviously, as you said, we've filled it with the Conor Barons, Diamontes, Jefties and Cortez. Dessers, obviously older, although it wasn't a Clement signing. So, listen, we're going to have to apply more players. We'll have to get, I think, the number 6. I'll not be so much young. I think he'll be a proper number 6. I think that's what he'll go for. Maybe somebody with experience. He might be 26, 27. Maybe slightly older. I don't know. But then I think, same again, when we go for a striker, maybe go for somebody young, and I think we'll need to go for an experienced sort of striker, somebody we know that can hit the goal trail. But we need to fill these positions, right winger and going forward up. So it'll be down to Clement. We need to get players in. We'll have to have more players come to the club. We're short on quality, and they're doing their best at the moment. and we'll have good moments and we'll have shaky moments as we've seen. But hopefully we'll have more good going forward up to Christmas.
I'm looking for a level of consistency starting tomorrow night. Right, we better get these phone lines open, Robbie.
Aye, be good to hear what the callers think. Obviously, they give me a weekend and like a big game tomorrow night, as you said.
Aye, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
You know, so look, that'll be the number that will grab the headlines, but hopefully we'll get more assets in the player trading going forward to eliminate that number and produce some more revenue. And obviously, the commercial stuff and all a lot of that is doing to the supporters outside. You know, they're the bands buying the season tickets, the supporters that are buying all the season tickets, the fans that are buying the merchandise. You know, the supporters and the fans that are turning up at the museum and using Edmondson House and putting revenue into the club. But everything helps, doesn't it?
Aye, 100%. I think the museum's been really busy and stuff, and I think Edmondson House has done pretty well. For what I've heard for the background for a couple of people, it's had a decent year. So it's all profit for the club. But like you say, we buy our season tickets, we buy our European packages. A lot of supporters go out, buy strips and all that for family members and stuff. So we do that. And also you're buying like half-time draw tickets and everything else that goes out when you go to Ibrox, and you're also spending money on the catering. But we need to try and...
Did I mention my just to you?
See, that's another thing, to be honest, and I know we've spoken about it, but that's money that's ring-fenced straight to the first team squad. And as a club, as big as we are, we've only got 52,000. I keep saying, we've said it before on here, and I think the last time we spoke about it, Big Alfie Australia went out and joined my Jers for him and his family. So it's like, if we've got a mass worldwide support out there, forget the tickets. Even if you don't travel or you don't go or you stay far away or you can't go now, as we've all said, we've heard people come on here and say, can't go to games now for hundreds of other reasons. But if you can afford it, shell out the 50 quid and get it into the club. We should have 250,000 people on my Jers. We should, as a club. Porto do it, Benfica do it. It's not like my Jers, but it's a scheme that the support pay into. And there's 160,000 go and fill in. When the last time I looked at it a year or two ago, they had 160,000, 150,000 signed up to a Porto scheme. And the size of Glasgow Rangers worldwide, for £50 a year, we should have easy 250,000 joining that membership as a club, I would think, Ox.
I don't disagree, mate. I don't disagree. Rob?
No, you're right. The fan base, as you said, it's worldwide, it's international, and we develop it every single year. So once we get a new signing, there's a buzz about a player who comes from a different country or region, and that increases the fan support as well. So you're right in the sense of, if you can't get to the games, you're putting £50 in towards the club. You're doing your bit as a supporter from afar, and as you say, it's ring fenced, it's protected. It's not going to other aspects of the club or bits of commercial. It's all direct to the first team. So if every supporter done it, then it would obviously make a better viewing half the time. But I think a lot of people don't see the benefit of it still, even if it is helping the club in a sense. They don't see the personal benefit, despite it being beneficial for the club.
I think if you've got the first team playing well, everything's looked at in a more positive light. I think we're long enough in the tooth to appreciate that side.
Aye, listen, can I just say something, right? I was going to say hello to all the troops that are out on YouTube, right? Because they're faithful and they're on every night. But I've just seen Scott's put a post in. Scott, I see your post, you said my Jers is a con, right? Well, if you think about it, Scott, right, I've just said before I seen your comment, all that money goes into the first team to buy players. The club's already said it before. So take the ticket aspect away. right? I'm in my jersey and I'm in it for the reason because it's for tickets, but I'm in it because I don't mind putting in the £40 if you're a season ticket holder into the club. As a club and a support, right? If everybody chipped in, we could have a massive donation into my jersey then that would help the club for the first team pool. That's what the club said it's for.
There's a difference between not agreeing with something and saying it's a con. That's a big step to make.
Aye, well, the club's already said they've explained my jerseys before. You know,
£1 a week.
It's £1 a week.
Well,
aye.
I suppose for season tickets it's 80p a week, isn't it?
But what I'm saying is they're saying it goes directly into the club. It helps the club buy players. So no matter who the manager is, it's a thing there, and we've got a worldwide support, as we've seen, and even the people that phone in here on the show. And all we're saying is my jersey would help the club. That's all. That's all I'm saying. So, Scott, I don't know what you mean by a con. If you're meaning by tickets, ID and stuff, listen, 13,000 applied for Aberdeen tomorrow night, and we're only getting about 3,000. So the club are going to find it hard to hang me. But I don't know what you meant by con, but I'll say hello to all the troops on YouTube anyway.
Hey, phone in, Scott. You're welcome. Your phone in. Listen, you get your wee package, but I think for a lot of people become collectibles. Do you agree, Rob? You know, people build them up over the years. So I don't know what the cost of them is. Let's just say, for argument's sake, it's a tenner. Yeah, and I'm just using that as a number. They might get them for a £5. So you're 40 quid, you're getting something for it. You get some offers as well if you use the club facilities. Yeah, and it's 80p, £1 a week. You know, it's not excessive. It's not a lot of money. We appreciate there's some people that can't budget for that. We get that. We understand that. But we're saying if you can, just look at it. Just everything helps to support the club, Robert.
Exactly, mate, exactly. And we'll be the first as supporters to sit and criticise something, but if we can all do a wee bit by putting, as you say, 88p or £1 in a week, if you can, then it does go a long way. You might not think it does at the present time, but if everybody does it, it's a huge incentive, a huge motivation in terms of figures getting into the club. But as you said, it's a personal choice and some people's circumstances don't allow it. But if you can, by all means, even if there's a group of you chipping in as well, it works out as well, even cheaper for each person. So the collectibles that you get them as your own, and then you can pass them down to family members, and you've got them for generations, and that's something that's in families you pass on as well.
Oh, you do what South says. He buys it for 40 and charges his family 50. He's the man. He's no daft.
Get him on the board.
He's no answering me, Rob. You know.
No, sorry, I was reading Scott's comment back. He's posted back in the comments, so I was just reading his comment there when you came to me.
Yeah, I said, South says no daft. He buys his for 40 and sells it to his family members for 50.
Can I just say what Scott said, just because he's interacting here? Can I just say this? He said that why should we pay 40 or 50 quid when the directors are taking the loans back with interest? So I'll let you answer that one up.
Oh dear. Aye, well, that's a whole different debate. I mean, obviously they're getting their capital back through equity, through shares, mate. And obviously, if the deal end, well, I'll put it this way, right? If you've got 100 quid in your pocket, Southside ask you for a tenner, it's an easy conversation. That there you go, Ox. Well, you would die, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got 100 million, ask you for 10 million. You'll have a deal set up for the repayment, wouldn't you?
Listen, it's a cheaper version than what we could go to and get it through banks if we had a banking facility. I get some of the directors have took a wee percentage either there through whatever reason, and maybe some through necessity, as Dave King explained, they had to date through South Africa with the tax and all that and whatever. I don't know, but listen, they've put money in, they've kept the club afloat for a long time, and if some of them have took a bit, like Bennett and everybody and one or two others, then so be it. At the end of the day, they're having to give more money as time goes on as well, and some have probably done it possibly without anything, but they're getting their shares back. And like you say, getting turned into equity and all that. So Like I'm saying, £40 or £50 Scott to anybody else out there to join my Jers. It would, like to say, it gets ring fence for the first team. We've only got 40 or 50,000 members at the moment, and we should easily be able to do over 100,000. If you love the club like we all say every day and you can afford it, then why not just join it to help the club?
I mean, if we had to go and borrow, say, 10 million quid, just using that as a number, right? You might, what would you get charged? I don't know, 6%, just using that as a number, yeah? And if you get it off the directors at 4%, that's a lot of money, a lot of saving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
I think you might be dearer than 6%, to be honest.
Aye, well, I'm just using that.
Aye.
Example, yeah. You
Aye.
know,
Listen, it's their own personal money, and we get it. But like I say, we've tried to bang the drum before about my Jers to try and hopefully people will join it.
they're my good friend. Wait a minute, Southside. I think I've got a question. We're good friend Jimmy Street, who's a top bear. You know that, Jimmy, yeah?
Aye, Jimmy, aye, 100%.
Top bear. Right, my Jers member not had a one away ticket this season, but still back to the scheme. It helps the club. Yeah, well, Southside, how many tickets? Let's be honest. People know you go to the away games. How many you've had half of my Jers?
This season, one.
There you go.
One.
And that might be it. That might be it, innit?
Maybe, probably St Johnstone away. Because you get better the grunt. But I still hope.
And Livingston get relegated, so that was another one.
I should get one for the up in that dump in March. I would expect because of the amount we're getting, and it should be topped down probably. But aye, it's hard. We might just listen. It's hard as anything. It's hard to get tickets because, as I said, 13,000 applied for Aberdeen tomorrow night. And Rangers can only give you what Aberdeen's gave us. So there's always a demand there for the away games. That's the thing. There'll always be a demand.
We've talked about this a lot off air, haven't we? A lot.
Yeah. Aye.
And how do you encourage new supporters? And how do you reward loyalty and get a perfect scheme? It's nigh on impossible, isn't it?
Aye, it is. It's virtually impossible. Like I said before, when I joined the scheme, there was only 3,000, 3,200 or something was on the scheme. And then after the first cup final, I think the Petrofac thing or whatever it was called, at Easter Road, it went nuts after that because people obviously were going to miss out in the cup final being played there. But Rangers gave you a continuous credit card scheme to join and go and watch all the games at Ibrox in the Cup, and a lot of people probably didn't want to go on a Tuesday night and watch us play our broth. But when it comes to finals and semi-finals, then Rangers reward me with loyalty because I get them, because I was in the scheme right at the start. But when it's my Jers tickets, it's a bit harder. There'll be loads of people like me that was maybe in it then, and there's a lot of people. But we don't always get tickets for. I don't always get a ticket for every away game, but even although I'm probably pretty high up in my Jers in gold, but it doesn't always give me a ticket for every away game. As you know, I've only had one, Dundee United away. That's been it.
So there's Helen. We've had a note that she's been in it since the start. Never had a away ticket. I don't know where she's sitting, but I'll take a punt. She's in maybe bronze, and you'll maybe get 10% of the tickets, and there'll be thousands of people in it, you know. And if the scheme grows, they might have to look at it because the two things should be maybe separated as they go by. Because if people want to join it, and then they say if they're joining it just for the tickets, it's maybe the purpose is not quite there. But I don't know how many people would be to join it if it wasn't for the tickets. So say yeah.
That's why I've said for the start, take the tickets away for it. Forget about the tickets. You know, just forget. If we get one, we get them. And like you say, you've seen the lengths we've had to go to try and get tickets auction, right? But at the end of the day, I'm just talking about my Jers as a thing altogether. We should be able to have over 100,000 members. Without question, for the support we've got, we should be able to attract it. like you say, they give you a gift. Because but Rangers should maybe promote it more and say, and maybe tell you, look, this money, because they've told us at meetings and they've told us before, the money's ring fence for the first team squad. But maybe they should promote it more. But a lot of people, because we're in the west of Scotland or we're all in Scotland, as a lot of us are in my jers first and foremost because people are looking for tickets as well. And that's what the fall it's always about. But first and foremost, it should be as the club as a whole. And the support's vast and wide. And I'd like to say, a lot of overseas people that will not be coming to Ibrox or are not going to ever really be coming unless they can maybe get a ticket somehow, buy one off the website. Don't see why they don't join my jers. They'll get a novelty pack and all that. But first and foremost, their £50 is going into the first team pool along with everybody else's.
And you come, Rob, and you come. These your thoughts.
It sounds simple when you put it like that, Southside, doesn't it? If everybody did chip in what they could, even if it is that £50 a year, you break it down, you probably pay more a year. In fact, everybody probably does a year on fast foods, takeaways, whatever it may be. £50 to your clubs.
A year? £50 a year in fast food and takeaways?
Aye. Some might not. Some might be very kind to themselves.
You must be really generous when they go dartsies when they wins a year.
No, healthy food here first, mate. Fast food's for me only. No, but it sounds simple, and it would benefit the club in a long run if we did, as a support, do more. Again, as you said, Ox, it's not everybody is able to do it, but if we can, as a support, as a collective, ideal.
I'm the first to recognise that not everybody can go to the game or afford to buy tickets. Yeah, we've again, me and Southside have talked to. It depends where you are in life and your circumstances. Sometimes even your health. If you can make the games, all these things. If you're a carer for your parents, whatever. Yeah, your families and all that. Look, we get all that. We understand all that. But what we're saying is, look, anything you can do for the club, but if we all do it collectively, everything helps. Because if we get in a better footing, hopefully we get a better team. That's the aim. That's the aim, isn't it? First and foremost, it's try to get a better team Southside, isn't it?
Aye, I look at it as it's just about trying to get money for players. And I just look at it as, I agree, £50 to some people, it might not be able to do it. I get all that. But I'll probably find a lot of people just think, nah, I'm not doing it, it's this, it's that, or I don't get tickets and all that, and I understand all that as well. I've always tried to say, but I've always said it on here when I was trying to say to people about my jers, forget the tickets, because the tickets is what causes arguments. We'll always fight and haggle our tickets and try and get them each way we can. That, and the way the Rangers are doing it, they're making gold bigger, they're making silver bigger, they're making bronze bigger, and all bronze are getting tickets for certain away games and all that. They have to, and they'll get them at Hampden as well.
Aye, you have to new supporters. And when I say new supporters, I don't mean somebody that's 50 and decides he wants to go and watch the Rangers, but someday everybody's going to go to their first game, their first away game, their first, you remember you had your first kiss one, Southside.
Aye, that was a long time ago.
Oh, sorry, that's it out of the loud.
I get that, and you see young kids and all that going to the games and stuff like that. And I even seen some at the Kilmarnock game, and Kilmarnock's quite hard for a lot of people to get tickets. So I would imagine that some of the kids that went to the game possibly are on gold. Some might be. If you went down the leagues and you were in it for the start, you would probably be in your range maybe 20 or something, 18. But there was kids there at 10 and 12 and all that. So they were possibly on bronze or something like that, or maybe silver. And they've probably managed to, Rangers have gave tickets out to people in silver. Not by a lot, and some in gold. Mostly probably went to gold, but there would have been some silver and bronze. Listen, it's a hard task to satisfy. You can you? No. So all I've kept saying on here is about my jers is just take away the tickets and just think if you could donate 50 quid, it'd go a long way to helping the support and give the club funds to buy players. That's at the end of the day, that's what it's about.
What would we do on here? We're not blowing anybody's trumpet. This is a free platform, isn't it? We don't have adverts, we don't push in, we don't lose any money.
No.
We have to pay for a lot of stuff. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and obviously it's not a secret that the presenters chip in and people chip in. Some people, and that gives us a running cost. Yeah, and without it, we wouldn't have a show because the phone lines cost, everything costs, the licence cost, everything's got a cost to it.
Aye, and plus the setup in the background and all that and stuff they have to pay for and everything else. Everything comes at a cost.
Aye. Anyway, well, come and use your. Well, I don't know how we were doing in my years road there, Robert, when we were talking about the loss, but maybe we're saying that if we had a bit more revenue, it would help every year. Yeah, but the thing is, you've just got to get that recruitment right, Rob. It's so important, and that's what that showed you today, how important it is. My own personal view is the board of directors and the people at the time, in hindsight, make mistakes. And one of the mistakes they made was, Michael Beale maybe getting a job when he wasn't ready. If you think he should have. 28 games with QPR doesn't get you ready for the Rangers job. And they shouldn't have let him loose with a chequebook this summer without any people there. And we're still in the same situation. So that it all goes to the board of directors that they're going to have to look and get that right to make sure that things like that never happen again, Robert.
That's why I mentioned the stability at the board level, mate. If you've got that and you've got the right people in place and they've got the right control over allowing a transfer budget to be given to a manager, you've got to have the backing and the support of the board and the director of football and everything else that falls into place with it. Recruitment, you're not going to know if a player's successful or not until they've played games or at the end of seasons. That's the risk with any signing. So, but as I said, if you have the stability, you might be a bit more reassured and confidence in a manager going to spend that transfer budget rather than, let's just say, a rookie, because that's essentially what he was as a manager. Yes, he was here as a coach, but it's a completely different ball game as a manager and being in control of improving a team with a budget.
He was the global icon, like say Gerrard and Souness when they came in the door. Different altogether.
No, the Gerrard brought that kind of aura. A player wanted to sign and be under Steven Gerrard. An England international, a legend for Liverpool. He brought that kind of personal touch as somebody signing for Rangers and Steven Gerrard. You don't get that with Michael Beale. You didn't get it with Michael Beale. So it's something we're having to pay for now as a club. And I think that the figures there reflect it. But as you've said, mate, let's not focus on the loss. There's a lot of positives in there. A lot of records in terms of incomes, revenue, etc. And that can only go forward in that sense. But the player recruitment is probably the one that we look at as a support. If the recruitment's right, the team is better on the pitch, and that's when success comes and more money comes in that way as well.
And the hard thing is for support, Southside, when you say recruitment, it's about getting people out the door at the right time, innit? To use a phrase we use, we need to cash out at the right time, Southside.
Aye, well, that's obviously usually what your director of football would do, and also your recruitment. But I think we need somebody in there beside Niels Colton. We need the CEO in to be switched on and work with him as well. And then he looks at all the finance and everything else that's to him because he's the man in charge of running the club. But aye, you've got to. I think we've started it. We've started this process, and we'll probably do it with more players that we're going to sign. But we've started the cycle again with players that we've bought. We gave Diamonde and Cortez 5-year deals. So there was a reason behind that. We're maybe looking for them to be here for 2 to 3 years, be successful, and then cash in at the right time, or maybe even earlier, should somebody come and want to pay money for them. As two just examples. Obviously, if it's true we paid about 6 million for Danilo, it's slightly different. I don't know but if you make a profit, if he comes good and starts playing regular and gets his mojo back and see what he's all about, then we maybe do sell him to a club in time for more money. But it was possibly a big outlay that we shelled out for him. And the same probably with Diamonde and Cortez. They're over £4 million each, but at the age. And you've got Yefty in there at that age. You've got Conor Barron in there at that age. You've got Raskin that we paid 1.2 or 1.4 for, I believe. round about that. It's there, and who could get flipped in time should he start to be playing more regular on the park and turn around the performances that he's starting to show. So listen, people will come, people will go, Oxen. It's hopefully when you buy a player, he comes in and he's ready for his work. As the famous saying is, he turns up every week, plays well, does a job, and when the time's right and somebody comes from, you sell him, and we try and get somebody else in to fill the space. And that's why a lot of clubs work, and we've got to start again because we've not been very good at it, but we've got to get good at it. So that's the way we've got to go going forward.
You're showing us a good idea. I've got a better idea, Rob, yeah?
Go for it.
Right, so she's saying that we should put a link out for mid-years every time we're on. Aye, not a problem. We can put that on Facebook, but I believe Shona's on there quite a lot. So why don't we send Shona a link and she can put it on every night? How does that sound?
I'll await the response.
But she's right, we're trying to attract more people. Anything that's good for the club, Shona. Anything that's good for the club. And every time you post it, we'll charge you £1. There you go, we'll send that to the club, all right? But listen, as you said, Rob, there's some, obviously that'll be the figure will grab the headlines. There's some decent stuff in there with some more to come. And well, I don't know if the accounts are going to be, when they started the year off, we could have done making in the Champions League just for money, if you're honest. It's maybe not a football thing, which is quite sad, really. But and then what's happened at the start, but our revenue is going to be done for the first quarter of the season because of the Hampden debacle, yeah. But long term, with what we've done, we should have more revenue because of that and the increase in capacity. So long term, Rob, it's a good thing.
As you said, the capacity increase is one thing to look at as a positive sense. The kit deal that obviously we've done recently, which isn't in these figures, that's another bonus. And then, as you mentioned earlier in the show, we're going to have the deal with the new kit manufacturers, whether it sticks with Castor on a new improved deal or the change. So there's lots of things that are coming up that will improve the numbers, hopefully, for next season. And the loss, it may still be a loss. Let's not be naive about it. It may be a loss again, but the figure could be a lot smaller, be a bit more positive in outlook in terms of bringing it down. But the work that has gone in, all the kind of records of bringing in more profit in terms of the kind of player trading model, or pre-player trading, from 10.5 to 2 million, the commercial revenue, it's all small things that maybe us supporters don't realise how much importance it is to the club itself. So it can only improve and it can only get better. And as you said, though, the first quarter might be a bit shaky, but the rest of the year hopefully improves. The longevity in Europe, I think, will have an impact on that as well.
A run in Europe would help, yeah, of course it would, but it's not always guaranteed, you know. But listen, look, as we move on, we're going to turn our attention to the football. I know that the finances don't float everybody's boat because we're about football, aren't we, Southside? But it's important, isn't it?
Aye, it's really important. But like I say, for most of the time, it's about what we do on the park. And if we're winning, that's what matters, I think, to most of the support, because as long as you know you're normally stable in the background. But we know there's a lot of stuff needing done, and it has to get done to stabilise the club and get us moving forward. So we know that we're all going in the right direction, and we'll see where it takes us. So, but aye, the headline is going to be that loss. But at the end of the day, as Robert said, we've made extra money in the commercial, we've made extra money overall. And we've got the deficit that was 10.2, I think it was, or something. I remember John Bennett saying it at the AGM, and it's now down to 2 million. So,
a big improvement. Can I just say, if anybody wants to help, if they've not seen the actual video of the audio we played there, there's a link on the main site, on Rangers' official site. Watch the interview and tell me when you see the same facilities, you don't think it's worth it. I challenge anybody to watch it. and don't think it's worth it for our disabled fans to be sitting in that top in class, to use a term that's been used before, mate, to give the people who used to sit out in the rain. It's got to be the right way forward. I don't know if you've seen it or you picked up on that, Rob, before we go to a tune, but if you see it, it's worth it.
It certainly is, mate. It's long overdue. We've mentioned on the show about the disabled access and the view you get, and they're in the elements where they used to be, but it is top tier for them now. They're out the rain, they're in shelter, and I've not seen any bad reviews about it on any kind of social media platforms. It's all been positive, and it houses a big problem that the club's had for a good number of years.
Listen, gentlemen, get yourself a mute, because we're going to have a tune. And for those that stay in the West End, this one's for Milky.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yep. Come and give us a phone. Get your thoughts in. Listen, we're moving on to a big game tomorrow night. It's always a big game, yeah. These games always seem, the last couple of seasons, the first one against Aberdeen, home or away, always seems to be a Wednesday night or during the week. It's outside, I don't know, Tuesday or Wednesday night, you know. There you go. I don't know if it's for TV or, I don't know, or just this random computer we've got outside it.
It's certainly random, that one. Another game up there. Hopefully, no rain, no wind, if it could be helpful. I'm hoping none of
You don't
that.
get that up there in July, mate.
I know, but you don't want one of the games, no, up there like that. But I take it, I seen a wee headline today, they're going to be quite lively up there in tomorrow night, the old Aberdeen support. So I'm looking forward to it. And I think as long as we turn up and play, I think we'll get the right results.
If we play, mate, it's as simple as that, mate. We didn't turn up at Kilmarnock. We didn't get a result. We turned up Malmo and we turned up last Thursday. Proved we've got ability. You know, 2 European games. Listen, I'm not saying they're going to win the competition. The 2 teams will beat, but we've took 6 goals after them and not conceded any. So it shows you that the basis is there. It's the consistency. It's really frustrating people, Rob.
It is, mate, and I think that's been a factor for a number of seasons now, where we can go into Europe against top teams, put in a high level performance, come away with a really positive result, feel good about things, and then we come down with a bit of a bang in the league form, whether it be a sloppy performance that ends in a draw or a defeat. And that is the frustration of consistency when it's the same group of players. It's almost like it's a mentality thing of they want to showcase what they can really do in Europe, but when it comes to the league form, it's trying to find a way around stubborn defences. It's something I can't put my finger on it, if I'm being honest. There's just something different in terms of how we approach league games to European games. And a lot of it as well comes from the stands. If the fans are nervy, the players pick up on it. If the fans are buzzing for a European game, the players thrive off it. But we've got to go and beat the opponents in front of us. That's the bottom line, whether it is in Europe or the league. But it will be a tricky game tomorrow night. I'm got no doubts about that.
Aye, listen, well, if it's all right to use 2 gentlemen, we'll hear from the gaffer, and then we can maybe get an idea of maybe who's up for selection, Southside.
Fine.
All right, if you don't mind, get yourself a mute, and we hear from your gaffer, Philip Clement.
Philip, can you give us an update on your squad, please? Who's available, who's not?
Tom Lawrence and John Suter will be available. We need to see tomorrow if it's for 90 minutes or not. Oscar Cortes still not, but in a good way doing his rehab. Rabbi Matondo also still not, but also in a good way, doing already warm-ups with the team and then being outside with the physios. Ritwan Yilmaz doing some parts of the training with the squad, but not fit enough yet. And Danilo on his way back, but not at his best form, of course, but he's getting better and better.
And you'll have Janis back from suspension?
Yes.
That'll be good news for you?
Yeah, of course, the more players we have, the better it is. Also, with this amount of games you see every game, there are some people with niggles and small things, so we need to take everything in account. So I'm happy that it's back here.
What sort of game are you expecting up there?
A big battle. A team who play really physical football with fast transitions, using their speed in front. A very collective team with a very good team mentality. So in that way, not so much differences with what it was last season when we went there. Was quite similar in that way, but in another formation with some other players also.
Obviously, there's a gap between yourselves and Celtic and Aberdeen so early into the season. How much importance do you place on this match in that context?
Yeah, we're not busy with that because, like you say, it's early in the season. It's about us. It's about us taking the points. We need to take the points. We need to focus on that. So we're now, after this game, still in 1/4 of the season or something. So it's last season we came back, we were in front, and at the end you don't get a title. So it's about us taking the points. It's all about that, and not looking at the others, because you lose time, energy for nothing about that. It's about us taking as many points as possible and to raise our levels.
Have you told your players what sort of atmosphere they can expect up there, given the rivalry between the clubs?
I spoke already about some things, but of course we have one boy in the building who was there before with Connor. We have also several players who played there before. We have other new ones, so it's my task also, and I did today to speak about circumstances and the way a team will perform, how they will play against us. So yeah, they know.
You mentioned Connor there. There was a bit of resentment from Aberdeen fans when he decided to make the move here. Are you confident he'll be able to handle any criticism that comes his way from the Aberdeen fans?
I worked with a lot of young players in my career. As player and as manager, he's one of the most mature that I met at that age. So it will be for him the first time like that. But I'm sure he's ready for that, and he's just focused on football. That's his strong point also. He's only busy with football and with his ambitions to become better and become important for this club. So I don't have any doubts about that.
Is this a game you feel you have to win tomorrow night?
We have to win every game. We have to win the first game of the season and we have to win the last game of the season. So there's no difference in that. We always want to win every game.
What would a win do you feel, not only for the league table but for the confidence and belief of...
There is a lot of confidence and belief in the team. It would help from the outside maybe, the perception around the team and the evolution that the team is making. In that way it can help a lot, but all the team has confidence to go there, to get a good result, but also a lot of respect towards Aberdeen, what they've been doing in this beginning of the season and how they have played and how they took their points. So it's going to be a huge battle, like they showed also against other good teams in the league, that they played really well.
You talk about the perception of the team. Is the outside perception maybe different from what you see? You talk about there being a lot of potential in this squad and what you can do going forward, but a lot of people are focusing on the here and now and what they expect from the squad now. Do you think there's a bit of a disparity between the outside view and the view inside?
About the idea what the squad is now and what it will be in a couple of months, yeah, for sure. But that's normal. That's normal because people who don't see everything that's going on in the building, how people are training, how they are reacting, how they are playing, and you're not busy with that process, you only look at the results or one moment. And even then it can be one moment really good, whoa, this is a really good player, and next week he doesn't score and it's a really bad player. I think Černý is a really good example in that way. 2-3 weeks ago he was for some people a really bad player, and then he scored 5 goals in 4 games. So it's important as a player, as a manager, as a club, not to live those emotions, because if you do that, you will never create stability.
Philippe, you say it'll be a big battle and quite similar to matches last season, but what's different is Aberdeen's form and the results.
They played really well last season in that game that we played there. I speak about that peculiar game, that moment. So it was a tough battle, that moment, to get a result there. It will be that kind of game also again, with a slightly different formation. They played with 3 in the back in that moment. But it's also the really direct, using the pace in front, going into transitions in the set pieces really strong, and with a few really good signings that they made also to make more stability than they had last season. It's a really good team, so a lot of respect for them.
Yeah, and do you approach the match as you would any other this season, or are you tailoring?
Every game has another approach. So every game it's different, the style, what the strong points of an opponent, to take them out, and also where to find spaces for ourselves. So in that way you need to find every game different things also to win the game and to stop opponents. So this is another opponent than St. Mirren was, but St. Mirren was another opponent than Steaua Bucharest, and it's all season like that.
Yeah, well, if you look at the form and results, people might be tempted to think that Aberdeen were perhaps favourites going into this match. You will disagree with that, but you can understand.
I don't speak about favourites before games, after games. I never do. I never said it about us also. It's just about tomorrow, who's the best team or who's the team who gets the points, and we're going to go full for to get the 3 points. That's our mindset.
Philippe, how pleased have you been with Nico Raskin in the last couple of games and his role? You spoke a couple of months ago, I think, about his role changing and him having to adapt. It seems like he's taking that on.
Yes, for sure, and it's an important part in that way. It's a player that we missed 9 months, and we had several of those. Danilo is also on that list, Oscar Cortes is also on this list. So it's important to have these kind of players back fit. Medical staff, performance staff, all the staff did a lot of job to get there. was also a lot of job to get Nico to adapt to the story of football now, and he's taking it in a good way and showing good performances. We knew it was a good player, that we knew from before, but it needs to settle into the team also and to be complementary with all the other players. It's not to just put 11 good players on the pitch and to play a good game. It's about doing things together.
Are you excited about, you've spoken about confirmation before, are you excited to see how the team reacts tomorrow night?
Yes, that's a really big test. I think it's one of the biggest that you can have in this league, to go to Aberdeen now. So yeah, it's a really good challenge, and that's what you need with the team, to get these challenges and then to overcome them and to grow out of that.
Do you get excited to see how they'll react and see how they'll play?
I have a lot of confidence in that.
You have confidence in it, but do you get excited to see if Nico Raskin, for example, can continue that form, can Bayrami start? Do you look forward to that kind of thing?
I'm looking forward to that, but I'm not excited by that. I'm excited by winning trophies. Then I get excited. Before that, never. So I want to see this team grow. I want to see them fight hard together. I want to see them work hard every day to become better. I want to see players who are ambitious. I want to see players who want to be part of a team, not thinking only about themselves, because we need a bigger squad than 11, 14, 15 players. It's different when you play in a team where you only have the domestic games. You have much more rest. You can do it with a smaller squad. We need a bigger squad because we have the European games also, and they are more than ever before now this season. So you need a rotation, so you need everybody to be ready for the job, ready for the team all the time, with all the egos, with all the importance, because playing a good game and then the next game not playing to be fresh for the next one, it's not always easy. So in that way, this group is behaving really well for the moment, and I will be very firm on that also, because that's what you need to be successful in 4 competitions. And we're working hard on that, and in that way it's exciting to see all the dynamics, how everybody reacts, how everybody behaves. I think it's good, the article that Nana, for example, did after the game or before the game, I don't know. After the game, how Tav spoke with him. That's what we need in a team. So we need to continue in that way all season, and then really good things will come out of this season.
Right, thanks for that, Fox. Okay, so I'll start with the headlines and get your thoughts on it. Suter and Lawrence look as if they're fit for another night, and they intimated that maybe no 90 minutes. I would think that would maybe be aimed at Lawrence, Southside.
Aye, Lawrence will be on the bench tomorrow. I think Suter will start. That's what I think, mate.
Aye. Do you think maybe Lawrence could start with a view of giving him 60 minutes maybe then? Had you?
Nah, I don't see Lawrence starting tomorrow night, no.
All right. Rob?
No, I'm a Southside. I don't think Lawrence will start. It'll be an episode from the bench, whether it be half an hour or so, depending on how fit he really is. And I think Suter will come straight back into the heart of defence.
And all the other people that you talked about, injuries, they're all getting there, but more long term. But look, they should be back very soon, which would give us a boost, particularly in some of the forward areas, if I'm being honest, Southside, yeah.
Aye, I was just thinking, when Matondo came to my mind, and I thought, how's that a boost? No, but I get it. It's a player that we can fling on should we have to, if he's back fit. Danilo obviously still got a wee bit of game time, but the manager alluded he's still a bit away. We're still trying to get Ignaman more game time and get him acclimatised to the games, and we've got to rely, let's be honest, on CD9 up front. The guy's got the most fitness and had been on the goal trail before the wee drought came along.
I just don't see D9, I think, and an interesting side. I think yourself picked it up the day that you picked it up on social media that one of our older bears had maybe praised CD9 for his attitude in making the second goal on Sunday. We know he's got faults in his games, and we use the word enigma, and sometimes we're being kind to him when we say that. However, when he's due praise, you've got to give him it, and he did show. And an older bear on social media get battered with so-called Rangers supporters. It's just mental Southside, isn't it?
Aye, I got sent it, and I got made aware of it, and I thought, wow. He says he's an older bear and he doesn't get to the games anymore, but he'd been part of this sort of group thing that he chats in, and he just said that he said, I try to be positive as much as possible and I keep getting slaughtered. And very recently I was told to get my head out the sand simply because I gave Dessers praise for his input in their winning goal. I was sort of reading that and I'm like, unbelievable. You know,
you didn't make the goal, mate.
I know, and it was the most important thing to happen in the game, apart from put the ball in the net. It's not something that we see from him, and he was just saying, the old guy was saying he was just disappointed. He feels like a lot of the Rangers support have got a lot of negativity out there, even although we won the game and stuff. And he just feels a bit disillusioned, and I sort of read it and I thought, wow, but there is that one out there now on social media. I believe there's a lot of negativity towards the club and doing that.
Yes.
But listen,
it's easy to talk things down, mate. Yeah, it's easy to talk things down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, easy. Yeah, but aye. Listen, so I don't think the team's going to be full of surprises. So I've got Suter in along with Europe. I think Tav will start. I think the manager will start Tav. I don't know if I was a manager, but because I think their outside left's meant to be really quick. However, I think he will start with Tav. Suter will be beside him. Jeff will play, and then it'll be the left centre half. That'll be the big talking point, Rob.
It will, mate. I'm with yourself. I think he'll start Tav. I personally would probably keep Casemiro in. But if he is bringing Tav in, you've got three choices there at centre back: Casemiro, Balogun, or Proper. For me, I think Balogun will get the nod, just because every time he's been up at Aberdeen, he's put in a good shift. He's got a wee bit of pace about him. I think the jury's still out in Proper. We spoke recently about signings being hits or misses, and Proper was one that we said the jury's out. And I think his recent performances are becoming more of a concern than a positive. So I think he'll be on the bench, and it'll be Balogun in beside Suter.
Yeah, jury's out. I get that. Southside, Proper. How do you see it?
It's a guy we bought to fill the left-hand side. Didn't have the best of games. Striker sort of, as most people say, sort of ragdolled him a bit. I think he had been playing not too bad. With him and Suter, we hadn't been conceding goals in the league. We were doing pretty well, shaky moments, but kept clean sheets up until the Kilmarnock game came along, and it wasn't Proper that sold it. It was Suter and Butland between them. But I think he'll probably play Balogun myself because he's gave him game time. He hasn't meant to really be starting games. He was there as backup. So will it take Proper's confidence any good if he takes him out and might think, well, I'm here and I should be playing. But end of the day, it's you look at the opposition, who you're playing, and sometimes you've just got to pick the right team. And I think he might go with Balogun and Suter. Oh, that's the way I see it.
Aye. Balogun and Suter. Aye. I don't disagree with the two of you. You know, I think we've got to. If Sterling gets back to the form he had this time last year and goes in a run, and Casemiro, he definitely looks as if he's got something about him. I didn't think he had the greatest of games at right back. He was okay without being outstanding. But the team didn't play well in the first half, Rob. But I think he's got something about him as well.
It certainly does, and you might actually see that he does get the nod maybe at centre back, because obviously he moved into that position when Tav came on the park on Sunday. So that might have been a bit of a thought for Clement to see if he slots in beside, was it Balogun he went in beside? Then see how he performs there with a view for tomorrow night. And he is a kind of powerhouse. He's got pace, so he looks like he'd be quite assured in at centre back. I just think that he's not kind of done enough in Clement's eyes recently to kind of merit the start there. I think in another game you maybe get away with it, but maybe tomorrow night it's a tried and trusted almost with Suter, and that's why I think he'll go with Balogun.
Aye, I get it. But I think Casemiro's got something about him. I don't know what you think, Southside. I know he wasn't great at the weekend. He got better as the game went on, yeah.
Aye, he did. If he has the two of them on the bench tomorrow night, then it wouldn't surprise me. Probably for a reason being that if anything happened to Suter or Balogun, then he's got two of them that can come on. He can pick one of them to come on and go into centre back. He might decide later on in the game, if he feels it, that Casemiro will come on at right back. He might either take Tav off or move him up one in the game, depending on how it's going and what he sees in the game. So he's got options. He should or could start him. But I think the fact that I said on here before, I thought Tav would get dropped for the St Mirren game, and eventually he did. It had to be right sometime. But I think that was in the view. I think he was going to start Tav against Aberdeen. And I also think the big man at the start of the game, his passing wasn't very good if he's all clocked up. He was getting the ball away quite a bit.
The part once, didn't
he? But he settled in and he looks comfortable in the ball, and he looks as if he doesn't get feel nervous or anything like that. He's cool in the ball. He seems to be calm. That's the word I was looking for. And he's got a bit of pace about him, and he's quite happy to go into a tackle and block and that. I thought I seen him getting into a few tackles and that the other night. So, aye, he looks comfortable, but it'll depend when he gets the run in the team.
Aye, but we don't know how good he is, mate. We don't know how good he is. We just see that he looks all right at the moment, yeah.
We're really finding him. He's playing positions all over our defence, and then we're actually saying he's doing all right. He's not actually nailed anything down yet, so we can see a run of him in the games.
This year's Sterling, mate. This year's Sterling,
Probably, aye.
Yeah, anyway, aye. So we got in the midfield. I think it'll be Barron and Raskin. I think they've earned it right. I don't know if you two agree.
Aye, I think he does. Man's come back. He's been out a long time, Wilkes, hasn't he?
Aye, but he's
Raskin, but he deserves his chance to get another start on Wednesday.
Anyway, Bob Gear's joined this evening. Bob Gear.
Hi, good evening, everyone. How you doing? All right?
Aye, good to hear your dulcet tones, brother.
Aye, good to be here, Paul, as usual. Aye, hey, I think Raskin definitely deserves a start tomorrow night. He was excellent against Steaua Bucharest, and he played well on Saturday, so why not? If Lawrence is not completely fit, yeah, I would definitely start with Raskin tomorrow night.
Different positions, mate. I think it'll be Raskin and Barron in the two, and then it's who's playing in front of him. Is it Diamande or Lawrence or Hadji?
Well, yeah, aye, I would take Diamande out of there. I wasn't altogether impressed with him at the weekend. And yes, I never thought of that, Hawks. Aye, and I would put Lawrence in there. So I've got no bad midfield gone there. Midfield trio. As far as Casemiro goes, I'm with you. I thought he got better as the game went on. I thought he looked far better at centre half than he did at fullback. And I like the look of him, a strong tackler. His passing, well, it will get better. He will get better the more games he gets. So he looks a decent player, the boy. Aye, good acquisition to the squad. Do you think he'll get a start tomorrow night?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to take the fifth and pass that to Rob.
Cheers, mate. Evening, Bob Gear.
Good evening.
I don't think he will start. I think Tav will come back in at right back. My back four, Bob Gear, was Tav, Suter, Balogun and Yefty. Casemiro's not done anything wrong to be dropped. I just think he'll bring Tav back in, just that kind of experience of the fixture, etc. Personally, I'd have kept Casemiro just because I think, as Oxford said, their left winger's got a bit of pace, something about him. So he's not done anything wrong not to be dropped, as I said, but I don't think he'll start. Definitely come on later on in the game if the game allows.
We'll see how we go. We've all kept what we're going into up here tomorrow night. We've been there, of course, that many times up there, and we know exactly what we're going. They've convinced they're going to beat us. Well, we'll see. But I think Rangers can do it tomorrow night. Does he go about it the right way? I'm sure Rangers can do it. It's going to be tough. We know that. They're going well this lot. I don't like saying it about them, but they're going well. But all good things must come to an end, and I think their run will come to an end tomorrow night. I'm confident of that.
I think Southside feels similar. Southside.
Aye, tomorrow, Bob Ger, I don't fear anything tomorrow. I actually watched their game against Dundee United. They play a 4-2-3-1, same as we're going to play. I think we'll come out tomorrow night. I think we'll have a bit between our teeth. I think we'll come out and get stuck right into them, and we'll see how good they are. They've not really changed their team that much, actually, because I thought they had, but I'd actually had a wee look through the other night, and they've only signed 5 players, and one of them was Kevin Nisbet, the goalkeeper for St Johnstone. The striker they've got is out injured for 4 months, and the other 2, one's a winger and one's a midfielder. So he's added 5 players, and only sort of 3 of them are getting a regular game. So they've got a pretty settled squad for what they've had. And he's come in with new ideas and whatever. So, but they're there tomorrow night. I think it'll be a blood and thunder game. I'd like to think we'll come back down the road with the 3 points, and that'll be a happy bus on the way down the road, Bob J.
Always has a blood and thunder guts game up there. Nothing changes. And with the big crowd up there tomorrow night when they're driving them forward, I think Rangers will have enough to nip them. That will be 1 goal, I'm sure will. I'm sure Rangers will win 1-0 or 2-1. It'll be tough, it'll be hard, but then again, what else is new? It always was, So, we'll see. I don't fear players like Kevin Nisbet and what they've got. I'm sure I'm more fear for your squad. Just get out here and perform, Rangers, like you did last Thursday, sorry. So, yes, we'll be fine.
Aye, well, listen, Bob Jen, I think this team, it's all about attitude and desire. I mean, they got all the criticism, and they deserved all the criticism for the performance at Kilmarnock. And then you're thinking, right, okay, how are we going to react against this European mob? And they come out and they showed a desire, a hunger. Yeah, they weren't the best team I've ever seen at Ibrox, but you still put them away 4-0, so you're saying ticking the box and understand how you're plateaued a bit, and it's not so great for Thursday to Sunday, I get that. But the performance on Sunday wasn't great, but we still won the match. So you're saying, right, okay, we know we can get to that plateau as we've done against the 2 European games, and we want to get there more consistent. Bob?
Aye, well, it's a well-known fact that when you come out of a European tie, nobody plays the top form after it. That's a repetitive thing. That lad, he ran proper ragged. That Carroll lad that had at the front. And yeah, Rangers weren't very great on Sunday, but they did enough to win the 3 points. I wasn't all that impressed. But you say a win's a win. It doesn't matter how you perform. A win's a win. We got the 3 points that we desperately need it. And I think we can do it again. This is your toughest league fixture this season, apart from Parkhead. And I think Rangers have learned a few lessons here. As you said, we've got a bit of quality in the midfield now. We've got Raskan playing well, Barton's playing well, and Lawrence is fully fit. He can be a goal. So I'm not saying I didn't say anything to fear. Of course there's something to fear, but what we're saying is just be up for it tomorrow night, Rangers. Because we're saying what we're going into. Just be up for it and go for it. Get the sleeves rolled up and be Rangers. Then you go doing 2-0 here tomorrow night or anything like that with a feeble performance. Be up for it and get right in about it, and we can do it.
Anyway, we've been joined by Kilmarnock. Evening, Kilmarnock.
Good evening, lads.
Good evening.
Good evening. Aye, Bob Gerrard, 2-0 field performance would see Phil straight out the door, I think. But I'm not believing that's going to happen. I think we need to think positive.
Aye.
Raskin and Barron been playing well. So Big Dessers will start. I think Tav will come back in. I think Suter will come in. I think Lawrence will start. There's no point. If somebody's possibly injured, you don't start them in the second half, do you? Because you don't want somebody coming in the second half and getting subbed back half. So I think Lawrence will get a start if he's fit enough. But aye, up there. Let's think positive. Let's get 3 points. Let's look them after perch. Even a 1-0, Bridgeman, we'll be happy with that. But I got there, no fear. Wee bit of respect because we've been on a wee bit of form. But you know what? We need the 3 points, so we need to go up there and win, as far as I'm concerned.
Aye.
I wouldn't be starting Casemiro.
Carry on, Domano, sorry.
I wouldn't be starting Casemiro. I don't think he was very good against St Mirren, as much as he did come into the game when he swapped position. But I didn't think he was that good. But he's a lump of a boy, isn't he, as well? So we might need that at the end of the game. I think they're quite a big physical team, aren't they? Like Kilmarnock. So we need people standing up.
Aye, if you had him and Sterling, this team, you've definitely got more physicality in there. But it's not about that. It's about obviously attitude, desire, and skill. Hopefully, Kilmarnock.
Aye. We played Steaua Bucharest, and there was a lot of giants in that team. And the two that made the team tick were Raskin and Barron, probably two weak guys on the field. But it was just a work rate, wasn't it? And they're intercepting and reading the game, and we need that. We need that tomorrow, and hopefully the skill will come through as well. But it's a desire, a passion, and they want to go up there and win. But it's needed. We need these 3 points. We can't go any further behind. So
I think you're right. It's a big game at this time of the season. Southside.
Aye, listen, I think it'll be drummed into the players. There's a lot in that squad will know have played there, a few of them when they go up there, but I think they'll know about it by the time they get there. And then you'll not really know until you go into the battle. But at the end of the day, they'll up their game as they've done. Every team ups their game against us, let no be kidded. But they're no invincible, and some of the results they've had this year, they've won the odd game 1-0. I think they've won about 4 or 5 games 1-0, and I don't hear an outcry that they're not doing enough and their team's rotten. They're getting lauded all over the place. It's down to us. So big up, and I think we'll go up with the attitude that we're going to win. We're going to make sure we're on the front foot and we get this game won. I think the players will have it. I think they'll want to do it for the support themselves, the club, because I know they've been battered down. And I think we've got to go up there and do it. And I think we Bannon's going to go up there and get dogs abuse, as we know. So it's time to shut that mob up, come away with a victory, so he can say, get up you. And let's come down the road, and that'll put a marker down. And then we'll see what the reaction is after that. We've got to go for Motherwell after that in the Cup. Like I said, Kilmarnock, the performance after the European game, the two of them in the midfield put a big shift in. It's going to be hard for the two of them to go again. Raskin's been out for quite a bit of time. He's come in, through in and played really well. We're asking the two of them to go again tomorrow night. So hopefully tomorrow night will be a big performance. They'll do what they're good at, get in about them, set up chances, and we'll put the ball in the back of the net, mate. It'll be a good night for us.
Do we think Hadji will get on it at some point? If he's in a squad, isn't he? He'll make an appearance in the second half.
Mate. I think he'll be on the bench, mate. Yeah, and whether he gets on is up for debate. Yeah, I think he strengthens our squad, if we're honest, at the moment, Kilmarnock.
Aye, definitely. It was definitely. Phil was backed into a corner, know what I mean? Saying it wasn't him, but it was quite bad optics that we weren't on a contract, I thought. But he's in a team now, he's in a squad now, so let's get some good at him. Do you think it was kind of the accounts committee day, stuff like that you were talking about earlier? Should they not have come out on Thursday, just released them, or did they need committee day? Because I just think that's a wee bit bad timing. You know what I mean? Big match tomorrow, and the night before they bring out this 17 million loss, whatever it is. could that not have been held back? Or is there a legal thing that...
I don't know, mate. I would be purely speculating, but I accept your point being a valid one, yeah.
Just bad timing, I think, know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Aye, I get what you're saying, mate. But listen, the focus is on the football, innit? I mean, for a lot of people, I mean, the accounts are the accounts. 17 million profit, 17 million in the trading model. They're not really that bothered. They'll be happier tomorrow night if we win 2-0,
Absolutely, that's what it's all about. And it's just what's happened to us. We all kind of...
Aye, you've got to keep an eye on it, mate. We've got a job today, mate, and we're just wanting everybody to support the team and make it easier and make the club stronger. And we need to do that. We need us all pulling directors getting decisions right and supporters supporting the team in it with merchandise and season tickets and my jers and whatever else you can afford to do, man. It's all right if you've got the cash in it.
Aye, it is, and just fans need to just try support us. Need to just buy what they can when they can. You know what I mean? And obviously, families come first, but this is your family, isn't it? The Rangers is your family as well. You know what I mean? It's we think about it 24/7. Some people can't sleep at night thinking about it. Just puts us through turmoil, doesn't it, at times, and yet other times. Get through to that final, you know what I mean? Ibrox was one of the best feelings I've ever had at football, if not the best, you know what I mean? Probably the biggest game in 50 years at Ibrox as well, wasn't it? And Lundstrom put us through, you know what I mean? It was superb, but it's the glory days, you know what I mean? And lost it with a penalty, you know what I mean? One bad penalty, kicking the ball, but you know what? We just need to soldier on, get up to Sheepland tomorrow. And take these 3 points, hopefully, and just keep battling for this league until it's mathematically over. It's not over, you know what I mean? Too many people.
Are the Sheep a better team than Malmo?
No, I don't think so, no. The new manager bounce, and I don't know if it was Southside said he watched them on a day there, and I think they were lucky. Well, I never watched them, but from what I hear, they were quite lucky to get the win.
I'll bring them in. We're footballing experts. Southside.
Aye, listen, Dundee United looked comfortable. They had Middleton playing down the left and Aberdeen looked open with that. See that ball over the tap, as we talk about, that we can see happening. Dundee United used it against them and Middleton was going down and causing their right back problems. They've got a fast winger. They've had him for a couple of seasons. I've not really seen him that often, but he's in their team now. He looked decent. But listen, they've won their games 1-0. Last 6 games or something like that, they've won it by a goal. So everybody's hyping them up, the media and all that or whatever. Listen, we're blue hot and cold as we've seen, but I think we're determination about our squad, the Mora Dalmarnock, and I think when we get up there, I'm certainly looking forward to getting up, and I'm certainly looking forward to the journey home because I think we'll get the job done, and I think we'll see a different Rangers and we'll have a bit more fiery attitude and application. And hopefully we'll just score the first goal and we'll take it for there. But it'll be a hard game as usual, mate, as you know. But I just think it's one of the games fixtures that probably right now we need to take the 3 points more than come away with a point. In the past, going up and getting a point isn't always the worst in the midweek. But when you make the sacrifice to make the journey up, you want the 3 points because when you're on your way back down the road.
Aye, absolutely. Again, they of course get a draw at the Piggery, you know what I mean? And so everybody's all bombing them up now, you know what I mean? Because they get a draw at the Piggery. Because it just makes them look worse than it if they don't, you know what I mean? If it was a bad Aberdeen team, get a draw down there, then, as I say, but it's up to us. Just get up there, keep the back door shut. And hopefully Big Cyril gets the ball in the net because I think he'll start as well. We do need goals for elsewhere as well. We need a goal for a set piece as well. We've not had a goal for a corner for I don't know how long. But I look forward to it.
2023, I think. The last time we scored for a corner.
I don't look like scoring for a corner neither. But I think it's a big part of the modern game, the set pieces. Bob, scoring goals. Obviously, Dessers, I think, I agree with the lads, I think he will start. It's been an issue away from home, mate.
It's been quite a bad issue actually. We've not scored a lot of goals away from him. I think the majority of our goals came in the one game. That's 6-0 win over Ross County, and we've got to get better. We've got to start taking chances. We keep saying this programme after programme to each other. We've got to start taking chances. And Danilo, is he fit? No, I don't. He'll not start tomorrow night anyway. It'll be Dessers. And if we get a chance up here tomorrow night, it's got to be taken. And we scored goals last Thursday night against a quality side. You're making comparisons there, Ox. Is the sheep any better than Stour Bucharest? I didn't think so. I'm not saying we're going to go up there and score 4 tomorrow night, but I think we'll dare off to win. And we've got to score goals. It's been a problem. We are a bit sort of a predictable, eh? Everybody kens that. Been lumping the ball at Dessers all the time. But they're more than him in the team, so we're looking for people to, like Lawrence, for to chip in with goals. Like Rascan, to chip in with goals. He's not scored for a while. Maybe Conor Barton. So we've got to get goals spread round about the team for to get us back into contention in this league. We can't afford to fall any further back tomorrow night for them boys, let's be honest. So, Rangers, sleeves rolled up, be Rangers, get towed right in about it. It's going to be hard, but let's make it hard for them, eh? Tomorrow night, and if we get a chance, please take it. I see you all agree.
And if we can get a result tomorrow, the fixtures, historically, would turn in our favour. The man at Rob can come in after your good self, because then, I've been to Tynecastle, Pittodrie, their place, and Tannadice, and if you historically you would see the harder away fixtures in the league, and we've done them, and we're moving into the second quarter. But you know that random supercomputer, the man, you know.
It's amazing, isn't it? The algorithms, how it just spouts these games out and puts you in a back foot right away. But we just need to take it. And as I say, nothing. They always raise their game against us. It's nothing new. The thing this season is that they're raising their game against the other teams. So we know what we're expecting. The same fight that they always give us. So it's nothing new to us. So and Phil knows that as well. So he's got to have it drummed into them that they'll be scratching and clawing at us. You know what I mean? And trying all the dirty tricks. But we just need to face up to them and play a bit of football, a bit of steel in midfield, in the defence. And Czerny's in good form, so he's good there for a goal or for an assist. So in the morning again, a big match, and that's when we need him to step up as well. And he'll probably relish in that as well. So I look forward to it. McCausland, I thought he came on. Dougie's favourite. I thought he came on and done no bad, his wee cameo. So I think he might go in at some point as well. Just depends how the game's panning out, doesn't it?
Maybe. Rob, when you come, mate.
I just sit and listen to the guys and their opinions about Monday, mate. I'm not nervous, but I think it'll be quite a cagey affair. I don't think the game will settle an awful lot, if I'm being honest. I think it'll be quite physical, but scrappy at the same time. And I think it will be a 1-goal margin or a draw. I just don't want to lose the game, Ox. And I know, obviously, we want to win every game, but a draw right now, with the way performances have been and where we sit at the table and where Aberdeen are, I don't think a draw would be a bad result. But I just think the way the game could go, a scrappy performance, it may be that 1-goal swing. I think the midfield will be key, if I'm honest. The kind of Barron, Raskin, I think they will be the ones that can dictate how our play goes and how we set up. But as I said, it's about taking our chances when they come. And I'm sure we may get a few tomorrow night, but I think it will be from set pieces. And I'm going to say we'll score from 1 tomorrow night.
Sounds good.
Might be going to be a throw-in or something.
No,
that's another thing. A lot of teams are doing this long throw-in, and it's just a tactic that people are now using. Surely at training, one of your exercises is everybody gets a shot doing a long throw-in, and you work out who in the team's good at that, and they get put on it. we just don't seem to bring that into our game. And more, you're seeing it that teams down in England and the Scottish Premiership, the teams are doing this long throw-in. Yet we're just not picking up on it. I don't. Is it because Tav can't do it? Is that why we're utilising it? Just find it's bizarre.
I've said for ages, though, man, not probably well putting Tav in the box because he can leap and he can header a ball and he's done it in the past. He'd probably be more in the box to give an extra option along with usually, well, say the Mora, Suter and Balogun, the Mora. But it's the one thing we don't. The one that I noticed that was good for Aberdeen, he picked up pockets of space, was Jamie McGrath. I think he was at St Mirren and that. They're playing him like a number 10. He's got a few assists. I think he's got 5 or 6 assists and 2 goals for them. But he looked like he was linking playing that for him. So you're hoping somebody will just go and take him out straight away and take the ball off him and just shut him down when they try to play through him.
Apologies, Southside. I fell off my seat there. Rob, if you want to draw and you want to come on and do the after show, you're more than welcome if you think that's going to be a good result tomorrow night. Dalmarnock, in you go. You need to have a word with this boy.
Aye, it's just a wee bit of fear in it. No way to lose. Draw is better than losing. But no, as I say, we need the 3 points. We need to go up there and win. Done it before. We'll do it again, and hopefully we're going to do it tomorrow. We've got enough quality of the team. They just need to work for it tomorrow night, and hopefully it clicks when it matters up front. So it's putting the ball in the net in it. Defenders will defend, but ultimately it's about putting the ball in between the 2 posts.
Aye, and that's been my problem away from home. It has Southside there.
Aye, it has been. It has been so far. It's got to get rectified at some point, so you might as well start tomorrow night. I'm surprised if a few people... I think Diamondi will play tomorrow night. I think we need energy, legs and that, and the team and all. And I think he'll play.
The 10 role.
Aye, I think Bejrami will probably stay wide left. He can probably get it there right back tomorrow. It's Nicky Devlin. So I think him coming inside, and I think he's linked up quite well with Jeff at times. The two of them have played nice bits of football between them, even against Leon at times. They played it quite sharp and doing the touchlines and that, and they were quite good. And they linked up quite well last week, So I think that's probably going to stay the same. So I think Diamondi will probably stay because we need legs and energy in there, along with Barron and Raskin. I just think Tom Lawson will come in. It might be, like you say, it might be a bit frantic at the start and that. I just think you maybe leave him out. Everyone's an option on the bench. I think the bench is a bit stronger as well. Looks with Hadji coming onto the bench and the usual suspects will be there, like Dowell will be there and all to come on and Ignamani. So it's a bit stronger.
Good. When we talked about recruitment, we forgot about Dowell and his wages.
Aye, there's another one,
And his wages, man. Well, listen, we'll see where it goes. It'll be interesting. I accept Dalmarnock's point, but if you think somebody's only got maybe 60 minutes in them, that's a gamble. You maybe don't bring them on and sub. You've got to make 2 subs if it doesn't work out.
Tav seems to be all right, doesn't he? And yet sports science doesn't seem to apply to Tav, I don't think. Does it ever? And it didn't apply to Goldson either.
Aye, they're sort of freaks in nature. Unique. Definitely applies to Tom Lawrence, but poor fuck there.
Matondo.
He's said for us, isn't
he? Matondo and all.
Matondo, that's another one. Value for cash, not. Right, okay. Listen, last word for your good self, Bob Jar.
Aye, thanks for having me tonight again. Good discussions, lads. A lot came what we're facing tomorrow night. We're going to this cauldron of hatred up there, as it always is. It's nothing new to us. Just get the job done, Rangers. And be Rangers tomorrow night. Then you go do the lethargically and let this McGrath, because he is a fair player, boy. Let this McGrath spray the ball out. This shinny will be into you for the all. What can I about him? He's got to be up his you-know-what, because he wasn't good enough for Rangers. So, just go up here tomorrow night, adopt a right attitude, Jars, and we can come back down the road with the 3 points, hopefully. So, thank you very much for having me, lads. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah. Kilmarnock.
Hi, thanks for having me, lads, and let's get up here and shove the flares right up their kites, know what I mean? Aye, let's get 3 points back down the road. No injuries. Hopefully Shinny won't put any up in the air. If it does, hopefully they've got a strong ref, because we know what he's like. He likes to put the boot in, and hopefully he's not going to hurt any of us. But aye, onwards and upwards, lads. That's it.
Yeah, always a pleasure to hear from Kilmarnock. Good to have you on, mate.
Cheers, Ox.
You were regard to that strawberry bond, Mr. Doogie.
Aye. Aye, well, Castor Liam says his Christmas card's in the post for Dougie, so he might get it next year.
All right. Or is it Hawaiian Sunset?
Strawberry blonde.
Anyway, cheers, mate. Hope we get a result tomorrow night. Rob, last word for your good self, mate. I'm going to put a claim in, mate. First time ever when I fell off back seat.
Have you been injured at work lately? No, good show, mate. Good to be on with yourself again in another show with Southside. Good calls, good discussion tonight. Looking forward to tomorrow. As I said, I think it'll be quite cagey and nervy. I'll take a bridge, man.
That's better. We'll take a bridge, man. I'll be nervous Southside, but we'll take a bridge, man, won't we?
Aye, take a bridge, man, aye. It would be helpful.
Aye, back down the road with that. Then we move on, yeah. But last word for your good self, the one and only Southside Britain's top tipster for the bookies.
No, it's good to be on the night with Rob, with your good self. Can I just say thanks to everybody on the YouTube channel that listened in the night, because all the faithful troops are in there as usual, and they were all interacting earlier on, so just like to say thanks for them for tuning in. Aye, looking forward to tomorrow. Go to jig your day to go and follow the Rangers. We're away early afternoon. So looking forward to it. I'm sure the Bears will be loud and proud up there tomorrow night. I think the team will get steamed right into them, and I think we'll come back down the road with the 3 points. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I believe. And as always, there's only one team and one crown, mate.
Yeah. Rob, did Shona take us up the offer? We're very kind of her, man.
Let's just say it was an LOL. So take that for what you want. She never said no, though.
I'm quite glad there was a lot else in it. I thought there might be a lot of F's in it.
She never said no, though, Ox. She never said no.
Never said no. All right, okay, it's a start. We can work on it. Listen, thanks to Dermot and Bob here for joining us. Thanks to Southside and Mob for doing the show tonight. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. with the one and only Allbear as we build up to a Rangers victory at Aberdeen. Let's be positive, at least for 24 hours. Take it away, Old School Boy.